I was thinking about Jesus' life, and particularly as it's portrayed in the Gospel of Mark, but really in all of the Gospels. Jesus' life was full of interruption and disruption. There were times when he pulled away so that he would have uninterrupted time with the Father or with the disciples. But in general, as he went through his day, things were always just being thrown at him. You think about he's in the middle of speaking to a group of people, and a hole opens up in the roof and a man is lowered down on a pallet. Think about when he's walking along and the demon-possessed man starts shouting at him. The woman who had suffered from a hemorrhage for years and years and years, touching his robe in the midst of the crowd, and Jesus stopping and saying, who touched me? The blind man who is shouting, Jesus, have mercy on me. And the people are saying, be quiet, stop calling out to him. The children, the parents bringing their children to Jesus to be blessed, and the disciples trying to send them away. Throughout Jesus' life, there were interruptions and disruptions, and he turned them into opportunities for ministry. He turned them into opportunities to be about what God had sent him to earth for, to bring people back into relationship with the Father. And it reminded me of these verses in James, because sometimes we set about on our day with our schedule. We have our to-do list. We have the appointments on our calendar. We have the things in our mind that we want to do. And then when interruptions or disruptions come, rather than look at them as opportunities for ministry, sometimes we get mad. We become bitter, resentful of those things. But we need to remember that our days belong to God. And that's what James was saying in James chapter 4, starting in verse 13. Come now, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go to such and such a city and spend a year there and engage in business and make a profit. You do not know what your life will be like. You are just a vapor that appears for a little while and vanishes away. Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we will live and also do this or that. As we go through our day, the biblical principle is that we commit our day to the Lord. That yes, we plan. Planning is a biblical principle, but that we always hold those plans loosely. So when those interruptions come, when those disruptions come, we take the time to think, is this merely an interruption and a disruption that I can deal with at a later time? Does it need to be right now? But we take that time to be intentional, to think, is this an opportunity for me to turn this interruption into ministry and to point people to a God who loves them? Let's hold our schedules loosely today and look for what God does when we are open to his interruptions and disruptions in our life.